Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of Friday Night WrestleCast. I'm your host, Richard Bailey Jr., and tonight I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
Shit, man, this is Wrestle Wars. That's what it is. All these promotions, everybody and their mother started their own damn promotion. We got like you want a promotion, get some buddies together, get a camera, live stream that shit. Here we go. Telling you, this weekend's nuts.
Absolutely. And we are also joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie. How's it going, Dana?
It is going very well. I am very excited. It is 2009 all over again. We have evolved.
Absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know, this is going to be a very wild weekend in wrestling. We have about 4 events going on. I believe we have the G1 tournament continuing tomorrow, as well as the Evolve Wrestling event, and of course the AEW Fight for the Fallen. Then on Sunday, we have Adam's favorite pay-per-view, Extreme Rules. So,
For life.
Yes. So we're definitely going to give some predictions tonight as to what we think is going to happen. So yeah, stay tuned. So starting things off though, I believe, Dana, you wanted us to talk about AEW first. The Fight for the Fallens.
Fight for the Fallen! The charity event to end all charity events. I'm extremely excited about this. You know, I want AEW to succeed. I hope their pay-per-view is a little bit better than the previous one that we had, which was, who knows? I'm praying. This is going to be, compared to the other matches that we have going on in the other shows, a rather short and very contained event. Is going to be around a total of, which is not bad, pretty good. Starts around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the first match that we have is going to be the Young Bucks versus Cody and Dustin Rhodes. This is the big match that we saw at the previous pay-per-view where everybody was all covered in blood and Cody and Dustin, reunited in the ring. And Cody said, "I want you to be by my side to face the Young Bucks." And Dustin just cried and nobody was wearing their gloves because all that blood. But is there any?
There will be blood.
There will be blood and no gloves. So yay, hepatitis. Anyone have any?
I'm not looking forward to it.
Wait a second.
I'm just it's not even so much of Cody and Dustin. It's the matchup itself. The Young Bucks and all this. I'm not into it anymore. It's very It's the style that and this was brought up a long time ago, and I'm big into the old school when it comes to tag team of just shooting and selling. And these dudes aren't selling. They don't sell. I mean, it's entertaining to watch the flipping, the flopping, the kicking, the moment, but they never sell anything. So they're just bouncing around, and at the end, they're all with their hands up, all happy on the turnbuckles with not a bump or bruise. No one's holding an arm or a leg, and it reminds me of like when I'm watching a Ring of Honor show, where it's just spot after spot after spot after spot after spot. Okay, it's over. What did you think? I was like, at first, it's fun to see that, but then after a while, like, well, where's the match? Where's the struggle? Where's the pain? See that? Just see everyone just flipping and flopping all over the place, doing spots. So I'm not looking forward to this match because, like I said, it's not so much of Cody and his brother Dustin. They know how to sell. We've seen them do it. They did it in their match against each other. I just don't see that happening in this match going against the Bucks because the Bucks can't. I've never seen them do sell of anything, even when they lose them. So because of that, I'm not excited for this.
Then, sheesh. I understand what you're saying, though. I mean, after a while, it can become very stale, and you want something that, keeps you glued onto the...
Yeah, you want to see some pain or something. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. They'll go through spot after spot after spot. They'll take some kicks and stuff, and then they just bounce right back up like nothing happened. And then just keep going. I'm like, yo, you should be hurt, or at least come on, you got to sell some of this shit.
No, it makes perfect sense to me. I understand. No Street Fighter for you.
You know I love Street Fighter. You know I love Street Fighter.
Slightly excited for this until now. You just made me realize this is going to be some type of gimmick match.
It is. That's the sad part, but it is.
The thing I was wondering, and the fact is that this is for charity. Maybe they could have evolved on a story. Pun right there. So maybe they could evolve into actually telling a story in the ring. Because
they were in a
Dustin and Cody, maybe.
But what's the story? That's the thing. What's the story? It's just brother versus brother, but there's no feud or anything. You know what I mean? This is just a match put together for this event, and they're stuck in a rock and a hard place right now because at one point, yeah, like you said, this is a charity. This is just matches that put things together. It's just fun. But on the other hand, this new starter promote where you're trying to build interest, trying to build an interest into potential feud. So they have to tell a story. They have to create a story first. You can't just assume that everybody is going to be like, okay, well, I get it. The two brothers. All right, well, that's it. You tell me what's the point. What are they doing? Have they even started the process of the rankings? Are they going for a title? Because remember, that's the AEW is going based off the win-loss rankings. So we're supposed to, as time goes on, see as they walk down to the ring, it says their name, say a ranking. Next, so does that start? Is this starting now? If it's not, is that starting TV? So are these just matchups for the hell of having a match? You know what I mean? Okay, would you like to see these brothers versus this brother? Fuck it. You're going to see it anyway. Enjoy.
See, I kind of viewed it as everything is going to start when they air on TNT.
Yeah, probably, because they haven't really mentioned anything about the ranking, which it basically tells me this is just a match for a match.
Oh, whoa.
It kind of views that way but they have been continuing with storylines via their pay-per-views. Because you had the whole thing when and how that ended, and how with Dean Ambrose, John Moxley.
Do you watch those Being the Elite, their YouTube channel? So
I watched it for the humor.
Are they promoting this match?
They are. They're promoting Matt. They are promoting basically everything on this card, and they're kind of giving you the behind the scenes. They show the silly stuff, but then they kind of show the serious stuff.
I mean, I would think that this is possibly one of the big main events for the match, so they definitely got to promote it.
Okay.
But, I mean, it certainly could still be a good event. I mean, I just think
right now, Rich, right now, let's say you're hanging out, you're watching other things, you got things going on.
Yeah.
And someone texts you and says, "Yo, Cody, Dustin, Young Bucks, you want to watch?" Does that entice you? Does that pull you in that you have to see this match?
Well, it doesn't entice me because I will be watching the G1 tournament anyway. But yeah, this
like I'm not watching this.
There you go.
Well, I mean, I definitely will get a recap. I mean, there's some things that I do expect to happen at the show. Like, for example, they did say that Chris Jericho was going to make an appearance, and they have not. I mean, I haven't been watching the Being the Elite shows, but I do know that the Chris Jericho Adam Page match is next month. So you have to have something that happens at this event to really, remind people, oh yeah, these guys are having a match. So Chris Jericho may interfere in Adam Page's match. I have no idea.
It's an actual segment that they have booked in. Like, it's a slotted segment.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's a slotted, yeah.
Okay, so that storyline will continue. So there you go, Adam. There's going to be some stories being told on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He's like, no, back in my day, we had real wrestling. Back in my day,
we had real wrestling. Everybody had bumps and bruises, and they held their head after a match. Where's my cigarette?
And they got chair shots.
Chair shot after chair shot. Blood match. Blood.
Yes.
No, there's other matches on it, but this one doesn't. Like, even when they announced it, I wasn't And maybe it's my own bias. Maybe I'm just not a fan of the Young Bucks like I used to.
I don't think you are.
I don't
so
think
if this was a Cody and Dustin match versus anybody else,
it depends. No, it still depends. I still want to. I still want to find out. Yeah, I don't know. Because I would say even with the Lucha Bros, but even the Lucha Bros, they used to sell, especially at Lucha Underground. Now it's not so much. It's just like when Pentagon Jr. breaks people's arms. Back in the day, when he broke someone's arm, they were off TV for a while. Now they just pop up the next week on wherever promotions, like whatever, you just like sprained it. I'm like, but during the time he broke your arm. So sell it. Go home. Walk around in a sling off camera. Come on now.
I mean, I don't really see this being a flippity floppity match just because Dustin is like 50 and flexible anymore. Be a well-grounded sell.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think the match will still be a pretty decent match. I mean, I'm more curious to see what are the be the storylines coming out of this, and then what is the because I mean I don't really know too many of the matches that we're gonna see at All Out next month. I know Kenny Omega and John Moxley, they have their match, and I know that Adam Page and Chris Jericho has their match, but outside of that, I don't know any other matches. I would assume, you're going to see Shawn Spears and Cody since that, yeah, Shawn Spears is on this card too, so we'll see about that. But yeah, so in other words, Dana, who do you pick to win this match?
I picked the Rhodes.
Oh, there you go. And Adam, you said nobody, right? Since you don't.
No. I mean, there's gonna be a winner. They're just all gonna walk away with nothing, as if nothing happened. It'll be fine. I think if they're going in the direction that it looks like, they're trying to put Rhodes, Cody, and Dustin together as a tag team, potential tag team. If that's the case, then might as well have them go over and win. So they could say, "Hey, since we've reunited as a tag, we won." Unless they lose, and then they start feuding again, whether Cody goes heel or Dustin goes heel and says, "Hey, you are the weakest link, you son of a bitch," and then they break out into a brawl. Yeah, you got to do it.
Dustin needs a good heel storyline. I would like that.
So either way, when it comes to watching this match, it's really the fallout of the Rhodes people want. So we know the Young Bucks are not. We know that they're gonna come in all hyped up anyway. Matter and pretty much about the Rhodes.
And aren't the Young Bucks already on a winning streak anyway from the last two events? They haven't lost yet, I don't think. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the next card that we do have is Kenny Omega versus Sima.
Uh-oh.
That should be very good.
So just to recap, Sima beat Christopher, Daniels last event, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the question: Is Kenny Omega going to go over to look strong for his upcoming match with Moxley next month, or is he going to lose once again?
You're assuming there's even going to be a finish. What if Moxley runs in?
Well,
what if they do one of those type of things? Which I hope they don't.
Well, I considered that, and I thought that would be a lot more entertaining. But Moxley is in the G1 tournament, so he's going to be in Japan when this particular match happens. So that won't happen. So yeah, Kenny Omega probably will win clean if I had to make a guess. Since he's
got the big match coming.
Yeah. That's my guess, but how about you, Dana?
I agree.
Uh-oh. There you go, Sima. It's unfortunate for Sima, but it's all good. They'll get him some wins later, I guess. Some more prominent wins. Okay, so who's next up?
So next there is SoCal Uncensored versus the Lucha Brothers.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay.
Man, I'll go with the brother. Why not? They need to get it. But it's again, this is like the issue that we had before when talking about these AEW matches. It's so early on. It's anyone's game right now. Doesn't really matter. So when we watch matches, when we watch these matches, we're watching it for the fun of watching a great match. Yeah. Is it going to be a great match? Of course it's going to be a great match. He's a great athlete. So win or lose, it doesn't really matter because both teams are over. And that's the benefit that they have. So I would just pick one. So I picked the Lucha Bros. Why not?
Back in my day, wrestling wasn't fun.
Interesting. Lucha Brothers.
Yeah. He's like, I don't even like them. All right.
Oh, no.
Lucha bitches is what I call them, but whatever, Adam. All right, they know.
Oh no!
What do you think?
I definitely would I would support the Lucha Brothers only because I know that you've been talking about them for the longest time. I haven't seen them in action yet, so maybe perhaps I will check out this match. But as I mentioned earlier, this is an event that I will watch a little bit later because my attention will be focused on that G1 tournament tomorrow night. But we'll see what happens.
On demand. The G1 is on demand.
Yes. Oh, it is. It is on demand too. Oh, okay. Oh, well. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lucha Brothers as well.
Awesome. All right. Who's next?
We have Hangman Page versus Ian.
Oh, you said Hangman Page versus
Kip City. Oh. Right now, I feel at this point it doesn't matter who Hangman Page goes against. He's gonna win. He's going into this match strong. So I see him winning, no matter what. I just want to make this comment. I do agree with what you have to say, and I have to say that I am very disappointed that when we did the last show, we all had different predictions of who was going to win that four-way match, and they decided. Yeah, I picked Jungle Boy.
Yeah, and they decided we're gonna still have Page win. So I was not happy about that result because I feel like he already has a title match. Mm-hmm. Why does he need to win all these other matches? So
doesn't.
Well, yeah. I mean that was an opportunity right there to have someone else win, and then when you have Adam Page win the title in August, then his first opponent could have been whoever beat him in that tournament, but in that four-way. But they said no, we're not going to do that. So I was very confused with that decision. But it is what it is. So I can't argue that. But I agree with you. Adam Page is more than likely going to win because they want him to continue looking strong going into his match with Jericho. However, I will say this: Jericho is going to make an appearance. So if Jericho decides to beat him up after the match, I'm totally fine with that as well.
I'm not going with Hangman Page. I think he had a win before. I'm good with him not winning again.
Oh,
we're all good with him not winning again. It's just not going to happen.
I don't see it happen. I don't see him winning again happening. Just don't.
So
for a while, it's going to get stale if he keeps winning, and nobody wants to watch that. It reminds me of when NWO was a hot mess and they just kept winning.
So are you also predicting that he is not going to win the title next month?
That honestly, I just don't know, but I do not see him winning this match at all.
Yeah, hey, I have no problem with that. Yeah, I agree.
And it would be kind of great if he didn't win the title at all either, because in that way, people were like, "Oh, look, we can expect the unexpected. The guy that we think is going to, generate all of this and win the title, they brought him in and he's not winning anything.
Yeah. I
agree. I think he should be a loser.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I said I think he should be a loser. I didn't call him a loser.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
sensitive. Back in my day, wrestling wasn't sensitive.
Yeah, that sounded very close to something else. So we'll see what happens. So that's all right.
Good. Yeah. So we have versus Allie, who's just basically another.
Not even looking forward to this. I don't remember ever seeing Brandy.
I hate to interrupt, but I do have to make a comment on this, and hopefully this is not a comment that will get me banned later. I haven't been watching the Elite, but I have been listening to audio of the shows, and I did hear Brandy Rhodes have that little promo about being an ice skater. And yes, I failed at ice skating, so I'm hoping that wrestling is going to be different. I don't understand why she has to wrestle. I wish her well, but this is one match that I absolutely would not make any time to watch whatsoever.
Well, if we have to sit through Shane McMahon and everything, why not have Brandy?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm sure they're teaching her. She's being trained. She's surrounded by wrestlers, her husband, everyone. I'm sure they're preparing her, saying that I see no interest. There's nothing leading into this. It's like, shit, can't wait to watch.
Give someone as many lessons as they want doesn't necessarily mean that they have the talent to do it.
That's absolutely true. 100%.
Got the glow. You feel the low.
I'm with Allie because, she's not Brandy.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I do think that they, I do think that if you are, you have such a prominent role in this company, such as Cody Rhodes, such as the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, they should be putting people over because it's too predictable for them to win every match. It's like you're in charge, unless you want to be like the McMahons.
Don't be the McMahons. That's why Allie needs to win. Just don't do it. You can be in all the matches that you want to be in.
Yes.
Them all.
I agree.
Just, it looks like you're copying a failed production of a WWE show. So don't do that.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how in the long.
So
this is always going to be an issue. You know that this is always going to be an issue. The fact that we know so many of these active wrestlers are in charge and running the show behind the scenes. This will always be an issue. Whenever one of these guys wins a match or wins a title, it's always going to have that little asterisk. Well, they're in charge of it. They're writing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That is something that I do worry about. But it's a weird thing with Cody though, because I kind of feel that he created this company so that he can have a place to wrestle. At the same time, I don't want to see him dominant. I'm okay with him doing a part-time thing with AEW, like when it comes to being in the match and the scenes. But at the same time, WWE, just so he can wrestle. So to say like, hey, you started your own, I want to see you in it. It's a weird balance. And yeah, that's kind of like the downside of starting your own.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It's going to be tough.
Moving on, we have Dark Order versus Angelico and Jack Evans versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
That is probably the only match I'm really hyped. Because Angelico and Evans, they were great in Lucha. So they were part of the Johnny Mundo group. Something Underworld. And what was it called? He had some group, some faction there, and they were the new Underground or Worldwide Underground or something like that called. And they're great. They're great. Parkour, high flyers. That's going to be fun.
So you're okay with watching them jump around, but when it comes to the Young Bucks, you're like, no.
They still sell. They still sell. They take hard shots, hard balls. They can sell. I have no problem with people doing the flips and flops. You just have to sell to it. Like Ricochet. Ricochet sell. Ricochet sell. They just get up and bounce up and walk up and walk away. No, they don't.
Walk away when not cheering him in the head, but okay.
Not him. I'm talking about the.
Oh,
remember we already talked about. Yeah. I said I know that the Codys. I know they know how to sell. We saw it in their own match. I'm talking about the Bucks.
I don't know. I kind of feel that when you watch New Japan stuff as well, where they have no selling as well.
I'm just not a fan.
They can't sell.
So
they can't sell.
I want to see a guy just get his ass whooped and then have trouble getting up and crawl out. And it's just like when you go to a house show. You see that at a house show. Where it takes forever for the guy just to get up who just got beat and then walk to the back. I feel now we don't even see that. Now the guy is celebrating. When you look at the mat, the guy he beat, he's already gone. He's like, shit, really? You just beat this dude's ass. I mean, and now he's out of the ring. Did he go running into the back in shame? How'd you pull this off? I don't want to see that. I want to see the guy still there when the lights go out and turn back on. He's still there. Drag his ass out of the ring, and then be like, oh, okay, well, we got to keep going on with the show. Hell, even if you can it'll be even, it would add even more fun. They had to say a guy for the next match, see that the other guy previous match still laying there and roll his ass out. Yeah. Just roll him out. Like, you got to go. Party's over, buddy.
In my day, wrestlers died in the ring.
Sometimes they did. That happened not too long ago. It was like 2 years ago when Rey Mysterio killed that dude with 619.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. I remember that very well.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he really sold that movie.
He sold it. And remember, there was that girl who pulled out that blood beneath her loins and shoved it in that girl's face. She sold that too.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, with the tampon,
Yeah, was selling right there. Yes.
That's how you do it. That's how you gotta do it.
So moving on, we have versus Britt Baker and Riho versus Shoko Nakajima and B. Presley.
So I'll pass on this one.
I'm gonna I'm gonna be honest. Britt Baker is the only one that I know of these people that you mentioned, so I'll just root for her to win.
It's okay.
Yeah, what's the next one?
So then, sheesh, man, I'm gonna go with Riho because that's a name
what you call me? What you call me?
Riho.
Yeah.
Riho.
Oh.
Riho. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm due for now. I'm sorry. So this is the match of the century right now, guys. You ready? The biggest match on AEW. You will not see this anywhere. This will be Twittered about, Googled, Facebooked, Instagram. Chris Jericho versus this segment. Him and a live microphone.
I see now I sound like Debbie Downer for all of this. I'm just not into the whole Chris Jericho thing. It's like I don't see. It's nothing enticing for me. It just doesn't do it for me. I don't care who he's going against. Page, I don't care anybody.
Well,
it's just Jericho. Just the whole thing isn't doing it. He's a great performer. Not knocking him. Love him. Great, but I just don't see any motivation for it to bring in interest in this match and what he's trying to sell here. So
there
you go.
So I do believe that Chris Jericho will, of course, use it as an opportunity to sell people on the match with Adam Page. However, I know that there are a lot of fans out there that want Chris Jericho to use this as an opportunity to make some jokes about WWE. Since this is a live mic and since they only announced that he would be available after WWE announced, oh yes, the Evolve event is going to happen on the exact same day as this charity event that AEW is throwing. So I would think that Chris Jericho could use that as an opportunity to poke fun at the other company. But of course, that will not happen. I just think he'll talk about his match with Adam Page and maybe deliver a great promo at the same time. But I have no idea because Chris Jericho is going through all types of stuff right now in his personal life. That is a lot more interesting than what he's doing wrestling wise right now. But hey, we'll see what he decides to talk about.
I'm the only one who's connecting the live microphone here. I think a pipe bomb.
Uh-oh.
And I think that pipe bomb might come out.
You're talking about CM Punk?
I don't know. It's a live microphone.
Well,
we know people who do live mics could have. Everybody is saying, and there have been rumors. I don't know. I'm gonna be that annoying person and be like CM Punk.
Well, here's the question. That All Out pay-per-view, is that in Chicago?
No, that is not in Chicago. It is going to be in
It's not in Chicago. Even then, I just don't see it. I don't see CM Punk with this joining AEW at all. I don't see the interest or the point. I mean, if there's anybody that you're gonna bring in what you call it, Colt Cabana. I mean, I feel like he's more. I feel like he's more over than CM Punk on a positive note.
Cabana Colt.
Because Cabana has the following, and he is the babyface. People love his podcast. People follow his hardships, and they see what's going on with the legal battle, and the countersuit that Punk is doing to him, which is horrible since he put him in that situation to begin with. So if you made it up, so if you bring this up, if you decide, all right, Chicago, we're gonna have somebody come out and do something, which is not this show, but for the next one, I think it would be Colt. Don't see any motivation or any reason to bring Punk for. I feel like he's a great performer, but he and this style for a long time. And if you do something like that, you're basically saying we're bringing in a big star, former big WWE star, and we're going to give him a big push. And we are going to be like every other promotion that has ever competed in this realm, which is we're just going to start getting other big names and putting them on the top. And that's how we roll. Oh. So I don't think they should bring Colt. They could easily bring him. He's never been a big star. He's won some belts here and there, but he's never been that main guy. Go ahead. Give him the push. He deserves it.
Interesting. I agree. We'll see. We'll see what happens. To be determined.
We do have a last match.
Okay.
Which is Joey Janela versus Sean Spears and Sammy Guevara.
I'm gonna make this very easy.
Damn. Go ahead, because this is upsetting.
Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, and Joey Janela will win this match. Because I know that Darby Allin put on a great match with Cody Rhodes at the last event, and that I wasn't expecting that match to end the way it did in terms of a draw. Also because they have to tell the storyline of why does Sean Spears have it in for Cody Rhodes, and I think that Cody Rhodes that definitely will somehow take Sean Spears out of this match. if it doesn't happen during the match, it'll happen after the match, or he may cause them to lose. But I feel like Darby Allin, they want to do big things with him. Same thing with Jimmy Havoc. So I think, yeah, you probably want to have these guys win. But then again, I know on the other side, the Jacob guy, they definitely want to do something with him too. But I don't know, man. I just think Darby Allin, they definitely want to do something big with him. So I'm gonna choose that team to win that match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I am going to pick someone that you guys did not mention, and I think that this is the real match that's going to happen.
Uh-oh.
What's gonna happen?
And we're going to get a DQ.
Disqualification?
Q. Who does she think is going to be DQ'd?
No. I said I think the real match is going to be, because remember, if you've been paying attention to TMZ.
Yeah.
So has pretty, he's picked on Joey Janela during a.
So yeah,
weird...
you're saying basically, you're saying that whole thing was a work.
It doesn't make any sense to me that would happen.
Oh,
at
Enzo.
all.
Oh, Enzo, you're saying.
With the Enzo thing, and even that video, I still don't get it because I don't. Even with the Joey Janela, like, oh yeah, he ran off. You don't see Joey beating on anybody.
He just kind of walked away. The crowd just parted and then dispersed. It was so random.
Yeah, and you see, I mean, if I'm having a real beef with somebody, let's say if I was Joey and I'm having a beef, somebody breaks up the camera, and I'm walking away, and I still hear him running his mouth, calling me a drunk and all this stuff. I'm running back, and I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna finish the fight.
Uh-oh.
That's what you do. You just have to finish it. Whether you get your ass beat or not, that's part of life. Just if you've made that commitment, you have to go all in. The fight or flight situation. Any ass whoopings I've ever taken, I've accepted. Because I was like, well,
whoa.
Because I've made that choice to engage. I'm in this. So whether I walk away, whether I don't, you have to. I mean, when you get enough punches and you look like the way I do, then you just used to it.
Yeah.
So if he went in there ready to fight, because I think the tagline that Joey said that he punched him in the face or something. He said that's what I read, right? Wasn't it something that he posted?
I mean, I only saw that video. Only shows there was a fight that was going to happen, but I don't know if there was something that happened before that.
And then even cornier enough, it was at a Blink 182 concert.
And the thing, and this is why I think it is. Wait, but this is why I do think it's a work. Because if you remember at the Fighter Fest, right? We had Kenny Omega running around in the back saying he's trying to get equipment for Blink 182 to perform, but they weren't there to perform.
Oh,
and so then we also had at another indie show where Moxley showed up and he beat up Big Cass and Enzo.
Oh yeah.
So when you start linking all these things together, I feel like this is a work. All of it tells me that it feels like work, and that we will see Enzo show up.
Well, yeah. Isn't their goal to always have some type of surprise at these AEW events now? So if that's the case, then yeah, more than likely, yes, that is possible.
So we'll see. We'll see. But I think that's what's gonna happen. But I'm looking forward to this match. I really like the whole thing with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, because I think it's funny. Get it? Luchasaurus, he's a dinosaur. And there's a Jungle Boy with him, caveman. I think that's fun.
Oh yeah.
That should be a good match. Are we still talking about that match? We are talking about that match, right?
Oh no, we already moved
or
on
did
to
we?
that match. match.
We did? See, then why are you telling me all this shit? See?
Whoa.
We're talking about that MJF shit. Fuck him. Fuck all that. I don't like it. The Darby Allin, I've seen some of his matches, and they're great, but they're great when they're in a hardcore situation. When you add in all the extra violence. You don't add those violence and you make it a regular match, and it's like a.
Well, I thought they were gonna have some of that.
Are they? I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna add that. They didn't advertise it. That it sounds like it's just a match.
This is during the buy-in, so the buy-in is the pre-show. So I don't know if they can have all of those type of matches on a pre-show.
Why is this match on the buy-in and not on the actual card for after people have already purchased the event?
Investors? I don't know.
It seemed like that's a match that should be on the card, but hey, listen, it's all good. It's all good.
Or they could have the blood and make it go completely crazy. Say screw the sponsors.
Oh no!
And that way you can generate more money. I mean, if I'm watching people getting hit in the head with your grandma's glass table, I would be more interested in buying the show.
That's if they do it.
If they do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that pretty much is all the matches for the AEW Fight for the Fallen.
And it's a charity match. It's going to be free, so you don't have to worry. You can freely buy in.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I do intend to see the event, although I doubt that I will be watching it live, but I will watch it at some point to show my support.
Respectful.
Yes.
But disrespect.
Uh-oh. So, I think now this is the perfect opportunity to move on to what Adam has already says, the event that he is really, really looking forward to, WWE Extreme Rules 2019. Yes.
Lord.
And I'm actually looking at the card right now. I see 10 matches. I have no idea why there are 10 matches on this card, but this is going to be fun. Let's get into this, shall we? So, let's start with, I think this would be my pick for one match that definitely should not be on this card, and I don't understand why these guys are still fighting. We have Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley in a last man standing match. So, Adam, since you are such a huge Bobby Lashley fan, tell me, who do you think is going to win this match, and did you even care about this feud to begin with?
Bobby Lashley, all day, every day.
Please, but it's wrong with your
he's the destroyer. He's the destroyer. I want him to succeed, and now that we know that Paul Heyman is running the show and he's personal friends with him, he's gonna make it so. He needs that push. He needs the original push. The whole reason why they signed him, at least everybody else on the internet, was because he was doing so well in Impact. He was super over as this badass. You don't have to have the charisma. You don't have to be a talker. He was proving that he could just beat your ass. That's so his move repertoire is massive. They just don't have him doing any of that. The WWE does that with everybody. Look at Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens can do like thousands of moves. We just don't see any of it.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with him. It's like once he showed up, all right, can you do the spear? Can you do that? Oh, come on. Really? Everybody does that shit. Well, you're part of everybody. Can you do the spear? You know, it's bullshit. So I want him to open up more. And that was the whole thing. When he showed up, I'm like, all right, it's going to be great. They're going to have this feud with him and Brock, because you know he's an MMA and he has a better MMA record. So yeah, let's do it. They have enough material to sell this, and they never went there. Instead, they try to make him a baby face, and also he's better as a heel, just being a prick, just coming in, and people are like, oh, it's never going to happen. Really? Because last match that he came out, Rey Mysterio come back from his injury, calls everybody out. Bobby comes out, beats his ass, squash him, easy pin, 1, 2, 3, and walks out. That's it. Now he's a badass. Let him keep doing it.
Okay. So, how about you, Dana? Who do you think is going to win this match?
I'm going to pray for Adam so that he sees the light, because Bobby Lashley is awful. He is. I'm sorry. I don't know. The reason why they brought him into WWE is because WWE is buying all of the talent. So
They
that's
didn't
the
have to
only
buy
reason.
him. They could have bought plenty of other people.
A lot of people who they didn't have to buy, but they bought.
I'm telling you, he's worth it. And he's got the look. Vince likes those big burly men. He's got it. Can't deny that. You can say whatever you want, but when you look at dude, he's massive.
He's big. He's brawly.
Yeah,
That's literally it.
And he could move. There's plenty of other things. You still haven't seen him when he does his dives off the top rope and shit.
I see him though.
He's badass. He needs that chance to shine. That's all.
So Dana, you got Braun Strowman.
Remember, Adam doesn't like flexi movie type of wrestlers who can.
Braun could also move.
So,
but I don't think Braun needs this push. He's already over everybody.
So I'm going to be the tiebreaker since Dana said Braun Strowman and Adam said Bobby Lashley. Who I believe is going to win this match is very simple to me. It's Braun Strowman.
Thank you.
And let me explain to you why. Because of the fact that, and let me go ahead and address this first. Last week on Raw, they had that whole situation with Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman, and then you see the whole thing happen, Corey Graves square and all this other stuff. I think that right there, neither Bobby Lashley nor Braun Strowman should have been on TV this
week. Oh, got it here, echo.
Yeah. I think you gotta mute yourself, Dave. But yeah, the point that I'm making is, I don't believe that Bobby Lashley or Braun Strowman should have been on TV this week to sell the whole effects of all the injury. So the fact that Bobby Lashley came back to squash Rey Mysterio, I think that was meant to show Bobby Lashley is obviously strong, and Braun Strowman, it's going to make people be concerned about whether or not Braun Strowman is 100% because we didn't see him. I know that they want to do something with Braun Strowman still, so I think Braun Strowman is the guy that they're going to have win this match. Bobby Lashley, hey, I don't know what they're doing with this guy, but I feel like they had an opportunity to use him. I don't really think that Paul Heyman has as much control as we think he has, because this past Raw was trash compared to the week before that. That tells me that they're doing something, and Vince McMahon still has his hands over everything, regardless of the fact that, Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman are around as the executive directors or whatever the hell you want to call them. So I'm not convinced yet that they have enough control. So I say I'm going to have to say Braun Strowman, because I know they still want to do something with Braun, and he hasn't been looking impressive as of late in any way, shape, or form. So, but we'll see what happens. I mean,
just say really quickly, I think that when Heyman was able to have his little, that was just a trial run. Yeah. Because remember, nothing fully happens until after Extreme Rules. So I believe that was a trial one. We're like, yeah, we'll give you a segment or two, just to go do something.
I believe that.
So you don't believe him you don't believe Heyman when he says that he has a surprise for everyone at Extreme Rules, and that he knows something about it, and it is going to be to fill in the blanks. You don't believe that?
I believe that, but I meant like the reason why SmackDown, they were like really good and then janky the next week, and they kind of like traded off. I believe those two shows was the only time Eric Bischoff and what's the face, Paul Heyman was able to like do something. I think they gave him that first Monday. They gave it to.
I think Eric Bischoff hasn't even started yet, because I thought they said he was going to start after Extreme Rules. That he's still moving to Connecticut.
Yeah.
So I know that he posted that he moved there already, but it's weird because if we know that Paul Heyman was able to have those two segments, the one that was the opening that I thought was just amazing, with Braun and Bobby, and then he did the awful segment with the "You're not even a man."
Yeah.
Maria.
Yeah. But now they even trying to say that Mike isn't even the baby daddy.
That's Paul Heyman, I think.
Yeah.
I think
that is all.
That's
that is all Paul. That's all Paul. It's that type of controversy. He's done that.
They're
before.
letting him go. They're letting him do stuff.
That's good. Good. We got to change things up.
Yeah, but not the baby.
I love that. What?
Thing.
That's great because they can throw anybody in there.
Uh-oh.
And then there you go. Literally.
Vince McMahon was the one who did it.
Yeah.
Gotta bring it.
It definitely was Vince. He did it. He did it.
He did it. It's my baby. And it's another
or
pop out.
This is how they could bring. No, they get it.
Uh-oh.
I was gonna say this is how they could bring Trump into it to show up on SmackDown on Fox. Because remember they want him to show up. Then they could say he's the baby dad.
Oh,
child,
no.
that.
But I don't think he's allowed as a president to get involved in things. Because remember that was the whole thing. Even with Arnold, he couldn't get involved in movies because he was governor. So he could do stuff to promote, his governorship and thanks and make appearances, but he can't actually act. And I think that's the same thing here. You can't really get involved. So I don't think Trump could get involved even if he wanted to in a story or anything.
Well, they said they wanted some celebrities at this at the show. So
of course, I mean he's in the Hall of Fame. If take what you want about Trump out of it, personal stuff, he is in the WWE Hall of Fame. If I had a promotion, a business, and somebody that was in my personal Hall of Fame made it to that. Okay, well, he's the president. I would try to utilize just for that fact. Like, shit.
Yeah.
Look, he made it. And he's part of my business. And that's the Carney way, right? So why not?
Yeah.
And you're on Fox. What do you expect?
Fox News.
That's what I'm saying. It's all there. So it's a no-brainer. I wasn't surprised at all when I heard it. If anything, I was really surprised that they didn't even congratulate him when he won. And I get it, they don't want to get to the politics and stuff, but they still brought up when Linda was and doing those type of, and so they still had Obama come out a few times and say little speech stuff on camera. Remember when he sent the videos and stuff back then? I'm just saying, as if they're trying to make their money, and now that they've made their bed and they're over with Fox, you got to go with it.
Yeah. We'll see. So let's move on to another match. We have the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Revival versus the Usos. Okay.
The Revival, just let them.
You said the Revival.
Just let them go. No, fuck them. I'm so tired.
He really? Signed a new deal.
The Revival?
Wait.
They're not the Good Brothers. The Revival? The Good Brothers signed.
No, it was
the Revival won out.
No, the Revival. I thought they just signed a new deal.
No, that wasn't them. Good Brothers.
Their contract is supposed to be up next year, I believe.
Yeah, they're the ones that are constantly tweeting about how they want to go do other shit.
It's gonna happen next year. So you're saying you want the Usos to win this match? Yeah,
I've never been a fan of Revival. Even when they were in NXT, just don't get it. I just don't get it. I could side with Vince when he's like, I don't see it. I don't see it either, buddy. You're right. I don't see it. They want to advertise that they're the best in the world, best in this and that, and they're not good chain wrestlers. They're always getting hurt. They don't have a good look. They want to say they want to keep it to the old school way. No, it doesn't work for me. Sorry. Ouch. Oh, you went out? You went out? Hold on. Let's get the lawyer in here. Let's just sign it. Let's get it over with. And don't come back.
Oh, whoa.
That's it. All right.
Ooh, ouch.
I'm not going to kiss their ass. I don't see it. I mean, as someone who watches a product, I have a right to say what I want to say, and I don't want to see it. And if they want out, hey, go do what you can do. Go be somebody. That's it.
Ouch.
Oh my.
So how about you, Dana?
I'm the mean one now. I'm gonna have to go with the Revival because WWE is trying to get them to sign that contract.
Yeah.
Get some real talent. Yeah.
I also will go with the Revival for the same reason, and also because I don't think it makes sense to have them lose these belts on a throwaway pay-per-view like this when you can have the Usos chase them and potentially get the big happy babyface moment at SummerSlam next month. But yeah,
you see that same kind of for the Revival that Adam has. That's how I feel about Bobby Lashley.
That's okay. But Bobby is legit. If you see him, he looks legit. You can't question that. You can question these two little fuckers right here. You can question, but you can't question Bobby.
I can question Bobby. Congratulations. You know how to lift weights. That's it.
He's good in the ring. You obviously never watched
the mic. He has no personality.
Who needs personality?
So Adam, are you openly saying on this show tonight that you don't like the idea of guys shaving each other's backs in the locker room?
That doesn't bother me. I don't care. I don't care if they shave each other's shit. I don't care. That's not why I don't like them. That has nothing to do with their in-ring performance. That's what I'm judging them.
And by the way, I just will add that was a horrible segment and a horrible way to utilize the Usos, making them out to be like, oh, they're bullies. They make fun of people. How is that considered making them faces when they do that type of stuff?
I don't understand what the in game was with that whole segment. What it was they trying to say.
I don't know.
Really juvenile and something back that you would see in the 90s. But the times have changed, and certain jokes like that are not going to fly anymore. And again, it's really juvenile. And the purpose of that entire segment.
I mean, I agree with what people are thinking, that was just WWE doing their own little backlash. Like, oh, you want to leave? We're just going to embarrass. Because they've done it with other people in the past. And maybe that was it. But like, we're just going to humiliate you. We're going to have you do these dumb things here. So, but
return.
It's like I said, I didn't like them when they were in NXT, and that was way before all the back shaving and any of that. Yeah, all day and night. Oh yeah. That spot should be sanded. Sanity should have been in the spot.
Oh yeah, and they did nothing with Sanity.
Nope, they did nothing with Sanity. Now that's done. Party's over.
Nikki Cross, but we'll see. We'll get into that soon. Okay, so let's move on to the next match. Oh yes, this is going to be one that I know you can't wait to talk about. We have Aleister Black. Finally, yes, he actually has a match on this card. I'm very surprised.
Oh, shoot.
Aleister Black versus Cesaro. So, I have to admit, I'm looking forward to this match specifically because I know that they have been trying to do something with Cesaro. They gave him the new theme song and all this other stuff and all this. So it looks to me like they're trying to do something with him. However, I believe they want to do something with Aleister Black as well. So it should be a great, entertaining back and forth match. But I obviously will pick Aleister Black to win it if I had to make a choice right now. How about you, Dana?
This entire match will be done in a room with no lights. When everyone just speaks into the camera. Yeah, it would make no sense for Aleister Black. He's been gone for like weeks now, and he's just been doing vignettes and random things on camera that's just so terrible. But I would have to say that it's Aleister Black just because he's been on TV.
Oh yeah, I agree. And how about you, Adam?
I'll go with Black. But I hope this leads to a feud, and this isn't a squash for Cesaro. Like you said, they gave him a new theme song. They're giving him a push. So let's get that push going. Let's have a war.
You know,
Let's do something sort of like what they did with him and Ricochet for a little while.
I agree with that, but I have to say that I'm very confused with, and we're gonna get into this because there's not another match on the card. But obviously Cesaro is on Raw and Aleister Black is on SmackDown. So would that mean? Does that mean that eventually Cesaro is going to get moved to SmackDown or something? Because
I think you could stop thinking about SmackDown and Raw as separate brands. That's what you need to do because it don't matter at this. It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter until October. Everything can do anything.
Right now, that's why they stopped talking about it too. Okay. They just have people show up. That's not the reason. Yeah.
I think that in October we might even just get a reshuffling.
Yeah. I have heard a rumor about that they may do that for Bischoff and Heyman, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see if that happens.
I think it'll be one of those situations where they sit down and like, all right, who can you work with? Who do you want to work with? I know there's a bunch of people that don't want to work with Eric Bischoff because there's a lot of former TNA guys there and WCW guys there that were like, yo, I fucking hate this dude. I don't want to work for him. It was cool if he was part of the team doing the other shit, but now I have to take orders from him. He's gonna decide my future. Fuck him. So I'm sure those people are going to be the ones that are going to put in a request to get moved over to Raw.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have to see about that. I think that's going to be a little unclear. Some of them are still they're going to still have to stay on SmackDown. But we'll see how they handle it.
Yeah, but I mean, we're in a different time now where, like you said, they're trying to keep talent and trying to make them happy. You're not gonna, if you have a bunch of talent, I'm like, yo, I don't want to work under this guy. Well, too bad. You know, fuck you, too bad. I'm leaving then. Then too bad for you, because I'm not gonna resign. And they don't want that. They're trying to keep as much the talent that they have now.
Grr.
That's it. I think, and I had a friend bring this up, and I was like, you know what? You're right. Shit will happen. Don't be surprised if we don't see Hulk Hogan show up. I could easily see Hulk Hogan showing up, and I could see Eazy-E coming out with that gimmick. I'm back. And they're like, oh, at first they're talking about, no, he's not going to be on camera. Bullshit. Because when they put those ads announcing that he's now working there, they're definitely going to put him on camera, at least at first, just to introduce that he's running the show. They have to advertise it in some way so that way people know to expect something different. And I wouldn't be surprised, especially with SmackDown, they're trying to get all this star power, bring out Hulk Hogan.
And it's Fox.
It's Fox and that connection. So I could easily see that happening. Hell, I could easily see the whole NWO thing coming back. And with the older guys coming, not wrestling, but rebranding and putting a new crew together. Like handpicking. If you remember when Kevin Nash was at Impact and he was part of them, he stopped wrestling, but he was mentoring guys in the back. Do you remember when he did that whole thing with Jay Lethal? And then that's how that whole Macho Man thing came out. He was like, yo, you need something. You need to. He's like, I do a great Macho. Go, yeah, all right, I'm doing it. Oh, yeah. And he did the whole thing. He said, yeah, go ahead. Go out there. Go do it in the ring. See what happens. And that's it. So I could see them playing a part as doing something in the back. Story-wise. Because they could easily do it. They're great talent. They just don't have to be in the ring.
Hey, yeah, it's possible. Certainly.
So that's what I think is going to happen.
We'll see about that. Okay. So let's move on now to the next match. We have, I think I'll save that one for later. We have the triple threat tag team match for the SmackDown tag team titles. Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus the New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods, and Heavy Machinery. Interesting. So, Dana, who do you have winning this match?
I have Heavy Machinery winning. One, they got to keep their name.
That's good.
It just seems like I don't really care about New. See, it really does come down to the New Day, though. I'm tired of the other guys. Heavy Machinery, but I do kind of feel that this might end up just being another generic thing, and we'll end up getting the New Day. Machinery deserves it more, but this is still Vince, so.
I agree. How about you, Adam? Who was your pick?
I want to go with Heavy Machinery. I want to give them a push. I don't remember the last match that they won since being called up from NXT.
Yeah,
one in our hearts.
They're fun. At first, I was confused by what they were trying to do with them because when they first showed up in NXT, they were just the brute. You know, the big dudes smashing them and stuff. Then all of a sudden, fucking guy starts doing the worm, and then they start doing the bushwhacker stuff. I'm like, whoa, what's happening? But after a while, I see what they're getting. It's like the shorter dude, the stocky guy, like the comic relief, a little clueless with what's going on. And everyone seems to know it, you know, and that's why he's a little wacky, but he's still fun to watch. And he can go in the ring. So it'll work. And I hope they get the push. So hopefully they win.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Heavy Machinery win also. I do have some concerns because I don't really know what they will be doing with Daniel Bryan once he does lose that belt. I don't know if they have confidence that he can go back to singles yet because of the last injury that he sustained. I mean, I have no idea. But
he's not going single for a long, if ever.
Well, that's certainly possible.
That's fear. He shouldn't be in the ring to begin with, and they know it, but it sucks. Believe me, I know it sucks. There's certain things that part of life, shit that happens to us and takes things away. And it's hard to accept.
Yeah. I agree. We'll see. I will go with Heavy Machinery though. Because I definitely want them to win it as well. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let's move on to the next match, which is the WWE Cruiserweight Championship match. Drew Gulak defending against Tony Nese. I'm surprised that this is actually on the card and not on the pre-show. Although I guess that could change by the time the show actually happens. I say Drew Gulak will retain. How about you, Dana?
I think that I might actually have to agree with you.
Uh-oh.
See, and I told you he was going to win the belt, remember? I said it. He's going to win that belt.
Yeah, you did say that. You did predict
that.
You know, it's his turn. They do the round robin, not only in matches, but in titles. So it was his turn. Everybody else already had some time.
Member of 205 Live, Chad Gable. Yeah, I think that'll be a pretty good little feud that they have down the road.
No, I don't know. We'll see. I don't see it. I think it's just going to be Drew Gulak. He's going to win. It's too soon. He can't just lose it.
Yeah.
He's put in his dues. The guy is not only a wrestler, he's a trainer. He's been a trainer for a lot of guys before he even made it. And it was amazing that they even hired him for the longest time. He tried to get in. They never signed him. So when he finally made it through the Cruiserweight Classic, it was a big deal.
Uh-huh.
You know, and here he is. So I think he's going to have the belt for a while, at least. He's good on the mic. Remember when he was doing the whole thing with his spreadsheets? So he worked on the mic, and he's great in the ring. He's very technical.
Yeah.
So why not give him a chance to shine with it? And until they figure out what else they're going to do, or if they're going to break up 205 or whatever. I think, if anything, he might be the last champ for a while until they figure out what they're going to do, because they need to do something with that whole division.
Uh-oh.
It's stale. It's stale. And if I remember right, he's the last one of the original guy to have the belt. Everybody's had the belt. He's the last one. So they got to do something next.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Let's move on to the next match, which is, yes, a handicap match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
This is really, if it's going the way I think it's going,
And
which is,
what's that?
she had some health. Alexa Bliss, something's going on, but they want to keep her around. They want to keep her relevant. And she's been out for a while. Think about it. Like, even with the concussions, then she came back, then the concussion happened again, then there was other health issues, and they're trying everything, even the whole linking her with. And I have a feeling, if you heard what they said with what Nikki mentioned, that if she wins this belt, they are coached. So either one of them will be able to defend the belt at any time. Yeah. So it's not so much of, because what's her name was telling her, Bayley was like, oh, she's using you and just so she get in a match and then she's going to win the belt. And she says, Nikki, no, you don't get it. If she wins, it doesn't matter because we're both co-champs. So if I win, she's a champ anyway. So my fear is that because they're trying to keep Alexa, they will have Nikki win the belt. And that's it. It's always going to be her defending it. And they're going to have Alexa around. And eventually, if she could ever get fit to get back in the ring, whatever issue she's dealing with, then she's a champ. And then they'll do the little feud and break them up. Right now, this is their way of trying to keep Alexa relevant in the WWE. And it's scary because they haven't opened up. I don't know what it is she has, what's going on. But they're really trying. Think about it, they just put that special, remember, on the network.
Oh, yeah.
And that was talking about her comeback, and she's not even really back. So whatever is happening now is very unexpected. Or else they wouldn't have released. They would, you know what, let's hold off until. I'm worried. But that's what I out of, or with the twist, because Nikki did say that Bayley had no friends. If they use this as a way for Banks to come back, and she sees that they're beating Bayley's in the ring, she runs. Those are my two things. But either way, I don't see Bayley winning, retaining. Story wise, it's all about the story, right? So
we'll see about that, because Sasha Banks is due for a return, but I don't know what her status is. So we'll see. But no, Dana, you, how about you tell us who you have winning this match? And you know Alexa, because you met her before.
I did. I met Alexa, and she is my spirit animal, and yes. But I do feel that okay, so the part about Sasha Banks, she's busy in Japan living her best life. I don't know what's going on with her, but I don't want her to return. She looks happy. She's been running around training. She's been learning things. She's been eating great sushi. Leave her alone. Let her go. In regards to Alexa Bliss, I know that Dave Meltzer recently said that Alexa was battling, according to him, it was a really bad sinus infection. And it got to the point where they had to cancel one of those fundraising event that she was supposed to go to, that she didn't go to. And what was originally was supposed to be the plan was to be Alexa Bliss versus the other person, Bailey. And because of her whole illness, they added the Nikki Cross part in there. That wasn't even planned. That was something that because she was sick. Narrative is true. Then I'm gonna have to go with Nick with winning. If that narrative is false, I'm gonna go with Bailey retaining. Also, at the end of the day, I also feel that WWE has thoroughly destroyed Nikki Cross's character and the gimmick and everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm gonna go ahead and just say Nikki Cross is my pick to win. Um, they definitely have not done anything good with her character. I mean, I don't know what, but I have to say that the Bailey run so far has been a little stale. I mean, when she won that belt, I remember the excitement people had, the reaction, but it seems like after that, it just like it went like, okay, all right, you're the champion, okay. They haven't done anything with her since then, so I feel like there has to be some type of change. Again, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Nikki Cross, does something to get a win here. So we'll see. Okay. Next up, we have what is it? One, two, yeah, about 4 more matches left to get into. So let's address this one first. We have the United States Championship match: Ricochet versus AJ Styles. So Dana, how about you go first? Let us know who you think is going to win this match.
See, it's not just me.
So what?
Do you hear?
No.
That's what I'm saying. I don't.
Uh-oh.
Dana?
Yeah, I'm right here. The winner of this match is ultimately going to be a booty butthole. Let's be honest here. Nobody's been saying anything about it.
That's okay. Let it go.
I'm immature, darn it. No, I will not.
No, we can't let that go.
We will. He can't let it go. We can't.
That's okay.
I am gonna have to. Ricochet has been having such a really great time, just overall of his career, that I kind of do see him still winning.
They're giving him a huge push. So I can't. He's going to. He has to. He's going to be champ for a while.
So you don't think so? AJ doesn't need to win this belt.
No.
Yeah.
He's probably going to end up getting his ass beat. Something's going to happen, and the club is going to come in and help cheat or.
Oh yeah.
But I don't see him ending with a win.
So Ricochet will win by disqualification. Then that's what you're saying in this match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not about the club. Yeah, the club is going to make a big appearance because they just got together, and then Heyman's like writing things. So yeah.
Absolutely, they will definitely be involved in this match. They don't even have a match of their own on the card, so they definitely will get involved in this match with Ricochet.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. AJ doesn't need to win the belt. Although I also do think that they could definitely have him win the belt and then have Ricochet chase him and have the big moment of beating AJ and getting the belt back, but I think that's unnecessary. Yeah, I think Ricochet should keep the belt if you're going to push him, at least for a little while. So I say Ricochet wins by disqualification.
They're grandfathering him out anyway.
What, who?
AJ, remember he wants to go be with his children.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Absolutely. I agree. All right, let's move on to the next match. These are the final three matches. Now this is a match that I wish the outcome would be different, but I don't feel that it is going to be different. So it is what it is. We have the WWE Championship match. Kofi Kingston defending against Samoa Joe. So here we go. Dana, who do you have winning this match?
My heart wishes that it would be Samoa Joe, just because the belt. He just does. He's just an excellent performer, company person. He's great on the mic, and he's not Bobby Lashley.
Whoa. That's a shot.
That's a shot. It's not a shot. It's a full blown.
It's your own personal shot.
A personal shot. It's the facts. It's actuals and factuals.
Not the fact. It's one thing if it was a fact, but he was the man for a long time, and that was a fact. He had the title.
And where?
It was at Impact.
And where?
At Impact. That was the whole reason. That was the whole reason why they picked him up again.
Who even watches Impact?
I'm just saying that was a reason that they picked him up, because of the work that he did there. So
they picked him up because they was trying to buy every wrestler possible. That's why.
If that was the case, they wouldn't even bother putting him front and center. Just have him on
front and center because
just to have him on main event. Just have him on main event. See, you're making excuses for it. Whatever.
Making excuses.
Yeah.
Vince likes big wrestlers.
Yeah, and he's good.
He likes big, untalented wrestlers, and that's what we got. That's what we'll always get. In my day, wrestling had big men. So, I forgot who was the match. Who was in the match?
Oh, Kofi and Samoa Joe.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, like I was saying, Samoa Joe needs and deserves this. And I think it's about darn time. I think everyone is very happy and excited for Kofi that he got the belt to pass the baton and pass it to Samoa.
I agree 100% that I think that Kofi needs to lose this belt. I find it interesting how on Raw, Paul Heyman came out and said once again that Brock Lesnar could show up at the pay-per-view and cash in on either Kofi or Seth Rollins. And I'll get into that a little bit later, in when we get into some of the other match. But if they're not going to have Brock cash in on Kofi, I very much would prefer than just have Samoa Joe beat Kofi, and just that will provide a new challenge. But for whatever reason, I feel like they're going to continue to have Kofi win. But I don't know what the plan is of who is going to take that belt off of him. So I think Samoa Joe was definitely one of the better people to do it. But I don't have faith because of what they have done with Samoa Joe thus far. So we'll see. But Samoa Joe is my who I want to pick to win it. So I'm gonna stick with that pick for right now, and we'll see what happens on Sunday. But Adam, who was your pick?
I just go with Joe. I hope everything works. I like Joe. So why not?
Yes.
Go for Joe.
Go for Joe. Go for Joe. Okay.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of reports, people phoning it in. Cool with it. He's along for the ride. He doesn't care. And it could be. He's been around. He's collecting a good check. He's all right. But I think he still performs well in the ring. So I don't see slumping, half-assed. Do you see that?
Oh no. He still puts in maximum effort. Obviously, sometimes he gets busted up as a mistake, but still, always a professional. And people still want to see him do something. So yeah, I would like to hope that he would eventually have a WWE career where he eventually does hold the belt at least one time. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that Jinder Mahal was world champion, and yet you won't give this belt to Samoa Joe. Yeah, that's a problem. What do you say?
I was gonna say, you know that the only motive behind that was
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
only reason why Jinder Mahal got that whole big push.
Yeah, we know.
Gender situation. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, I don't know. It's
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Um. Okay. So now, moving on to the final two matches. I'm gonna save this other match for the main event which will be the NW and the real main event. I'll get into that. But yeah, let's get both of you opinions on this match because this is the match that has the highest stakes. Last chance winners take all mixed tag match where Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins will defend their titles against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. So basically the power couple match. So, Dana, let's go to you first. Who do you think is going to win this match?
okay. Let's see. Say the name again.
Say my name, say my name.
We have Seth Rollins, the man.
Okay. The man. Oh, that stupid thing. And heavens, jeez Louise. Okay, I'm gonna tell you my positives before I go into the negatives. And I'm the only one who liked this. No, really, I freaking love the mixed match challenge thing. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who loved it, and I'm the only one who watched it on Facebook. Wonderful, and they need to bring that back, by the way. So, yay for that, because I think that we're going to get more matches like that when it comes to SmackDown. Hope you do, and later in October when they do the whole reboot thing with Raw too. So that is my positive of why I like this thing. Now, other than that, this is complete and utter trash garbage. This is garbage. No stipulation to me makes no gosh darn sense at all. So this is what I understand from this being. Rollins paired up with Becky Lynch to face Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, right? So if Lacey and Baron Corbin, then that means they won't ever get a chance at that title again, and they'll essentially just basically leave Becky and Baron Corbin alone, right?
Think so.
Yeah.
How fucking stupid is that? That's what in basic. Now I'm gonna sound like the old fart here. Back in my day, you just moved on to the next opponent. You know that you go back to the back of the line. That's how storylines work. You end it and you face someone else. That is the most stupidest stipulation in the entire world. I think that this match is just a reason to give us mixed match challenges, throughout Raw and SmackDown when we get into October and later after the Extreme Rules when Eric Bischoff comes back. So this is, again, and that's stupid in itself because, Adam and Richard and all of us grew up when men and women could at least hit each other in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just... the fact that they're acting like that just never existed. Men and women wrestle together? No. Yeah. So that would be the positive side to this. Just stupid, and there is no other positive. I literally do not like Seth and Becky together. I don't know whether or not they're a real couple. I really don't care. My whole thing is they have absolutely no history in the ring at all. Situation that I have. They're like two dead fish. Way. Go rot somewhere in a landfill. They are just blah, blah, blah. Separate, they're great. Together, they just don't know what they're doing. And it's weird and it's awkward. And I don't like watching it because it just disturbs my equilibrium. So
talk about me.
No. At the end of the day, don't give a flying fart about this match. So poorly booked. I don't know why Baron Corbin is still doing things. Lacey Evans, I actually like, but here's again, and you made this argument before, where it should have been anybody else but Lacey. It could have been Ember Moon. It could have been Asuka. Remember Asuka? I don't even know if she's still employed.
You know.
So I would have appreciated it to have been anyone else but this. But no, let's go with the dead fish and say that they win, because they're company people. And Becky, trying to do with Becky, because remember, Becky was Becky 2 belts, then she was Becky 1 belts, and she was still on the mic, and she was still really good.
She's Becky No Thrill. That's
Becky dead fish in the water. She's Becky, died by pollution. At the end of the day, I really don't give a flying fart. But if I have to pick somebody, you know what? I'm going to pick Lacey Evans and the whatchamaface guy with no hair, him, the Baron Corbin one over there, just so I don't have to think about Becky whatchamaface, the Power Ranger.
That's not a well. I thought everything you had. I thought everything you said was on point. I'll go ahead next, and then I'll go to Adam. I'm not really a fan of the storyline that they're doing with these two. If they have a real relationship, I really don't care about any of that information. And then I saw that they have now gone to lengths of having the t-shirts, the man's man t-shirt, which I saw this past week, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
Just don't get the whole thing of saying it's the man. When did that become positive?
They're still living off the momentum of WrestleMania, when Becky, she beat Charlotte, all this other stuff. They're still trying to pull success from that. But at some point, that has to change. The same thing with Kofi. His WrestleMania win was great, but now it's getting stale. So you need to move on to somebody else or something else. There has to be something else moving forward with that. So with this, I mean, I like Lacey Evans. I don't really understand why they're making it seem like she is the only significant threat on the Raw roster to give Becky a challenge for that belt. So that's kind of what makes me think they would have Becky lose this match. But as for Baron Corbin has major heat with the fans. So I feel that's the only reason why he's in this particular match, because they legitimately somebody they basically want to be booed. But from the corporate standpoint, it looks to me like they want to continue pushing this Becky Seth thing down our throat. So what I think is going to happen is I think that Becky and Seth will retain, and then Brock Lesnar will show up and cash in on Seth Rollins, and now Seth Rollins will have his rematch at SummerSlam, if I had to make a guess. But that's just my thoughts. Adam, who do you have winning this match?
Shit. I probably would say Corbin wins, and so then that way they can keep Seth strong for a rematch. Because then he could say, well, you didn't beat me for it. So maybe Brock fears, doesn't see it, gives Seth 5 or something outside, gets into the ring, beats the shit out of Corbin, cashes in, wins, runs out. They stole the belt. It's been done before, and they could say it's payback, because this sort of happened before when Seth won. Remember, what was it, WrestleMania or whatever it was, where he went running in? I think it was when Roman was celebrating after winning and the whole thing from Brock, and then he went and hit him and just cashed in. So they could just play it that way, and this keeps them strong. So that way it's like, hey, you didn't beat me, and they could rehash this feud and this match at the next paper. Sounds like they want to do.
I considering how the Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar match went at WrestleMania, I did not like how Seth Rollins won that match. So I would want to see if he's going to win this title, it needs to be in a far better match that people actually want to see, and not a match that's rushed because you have too many matches on the card as is. So I definitely want to listen. If he loses the belt, that's great because then at SummerSlam maybe he'll actually have a match that is an actual match instead of people. Let's do a low blow and 2 curb stops and the match is over. So yeah, I would prefer him losing the belt only so he can have a proper match at SummerSlam. But we'll see. But yeah, Baron Corbin winning would be interesting. Yes.
I just want to say one thing. A quick asterisk on my whole rant that I went on.
Yeah.
I want to see the live reenactment of impregnated, or when Becky impregnated Maria. There you go. Lines together.
Well, hey, you might see that maybe, and maybe I don't know how far they can go with this their decision to now let's make this a little bit more mature for people now. We'll see.
I had to sit through Edge and Lita. I'm gonna sit through Becky and Maria.
That sounds good to me. So we'll go ahead, Adam. What you say?
No, we'll just see. We'll see what happens. They have to have something planned for this shit, you know.
Yeah. They have to have something planned. So I would prefer have Seth lose, but I do fear that if Seth loses that match, now they're gonna want to do what's going on with Becky and Seth? Now their relationship will never be the same again. Now that they both lost the belts, so I don't know what they're gonna do, but I do see them going down that path too. So we'll see.
I think that relationship is real only because Moxley talked about it during podcast and stuff when they talked about travel buddies. Remember, and his only travel buddy was Roman and Seth, Becky. He ended up traveling by himself and Roman. So that's why I think that is a real relationship.
Oh yeah. I mean I think it's real also. I mean we've seen them. They've had a lot of pictures out there. So before WWE got behind this whole thing of making it known that they're dating. So yeah. So.
I remember the guy she was dating before, the UFC dude, the stalker. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember that. We'll see. And finally, this is the match here, which is probably going to end up being the main event. I cannot wait to hear what you both have to say about this. We have a no-holds-barred tag team match. The Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. So, Dana, how about you go first and let us know who you think is going to win this match?
Oh gosh. Oh, I can't really give my thoughts about Shane. Legality, so tricky. Shane, I hope they win.
Oh, really?
Whoever's not Shane. Literally anyone. Could be a random person in the audience. And they win. Anyone but Shane.
Okay. Interesting.
I bet you like Shane.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, you was like, interesting. Like, how dare you say that about my Shane?
Oh no.
Oh.
I absolutely positively don't really care about this match. I think that they have overdone the Shane push, and I find it interesting how Kevin Owens had that whole rant. I mean, so that rant on SmackDown lets me know that they are self-aware that this stuff is bad, but they still do it.
Self-aware.
Oh no, it has been that they have been self-aware, but they still continue to do it, even though they know it's all garbage.
They keep doing it, and it's like a sad circus show where they know it sucks. They say it sucks, has a rant, the fans and what they want to do, and then what happens? It's the same thing, a month later.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, the second that the ratings increase because of the whole Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman, once that happens, they're going to be gone. They're going to fire them and be like, we got it from here. And then it's going to decline again. And it's going to be this whole cycle all over again.
Oh, yeah. I fully believe that. Yeah. But as for this match, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that the Undertaker and Roman Reigns will win this match. I mean, there's really no need to have Shane go over once again. And Drew McIntyre, I really don't understand why he is involved in any of this, because Drew McIntyre, this is a guy that they could be doing so much with, but instead you got him tagging along with Shane McMahon, protecting Shane McMahon and all this other stuff. Yet, in that last pay-per-view they had, Drew McIntyre takes the loss, but prior to that pay-per-view, Shane McMahon wins because Drew McIntyre does his finisher on Roman Reigns. The ref doesn't see it. So I don't like the fact that you had Drew McIntyre lose that last match against Roman Reigns. So he'll lose this match, I'm sure. And maybe if Undertaker is going to stick around, eventually we're going to have a solo match with Undertaker and Drew McIntyre where Drew McIntyre wins that. But I feel like right now, Roman Reigns, and we have to mention on Raw this past week that horrible match segment where Roman Reigns teamed up with a mystery partner to face Shane and Drew McIntyre. The partner ended up being Cedric Alexander. So obviously Roman Reigns and Cedric Alexander lost that match. So 50-50 booking says Drew McIntyre and Shane will lose on Sunday. So, but we'll see what happens. Adam, who do you got winning this match?
The Graveyard Dogs. Right? That's.
I saw that shirt. I didn't know if that was a legit shirt.
That's their new. It's their new thing. So you don't make new merch and then start losing shit. And after what happened with Undertaker at the last show, come on. You know, everything is just pointing. And whatever. That's what I'm saying. It's like, where's the shock? Where's the excitement, the potential for anything can happen? Because that's not the case. Nothing can.
Oh no, you're right. Nothing can happen. Not as long as Vince McMahon is still in charge. He'll make sure this is going to remain the way that I like it. I don't care about what these fans think. But that more than likely is the main event. I'm pretty sure of that, because the Undertaker, yeah, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we need to have Undertaker because he doesn't wrestle all the time. So that will probably be the main event of that particular card.
It's just sad that they're still dragging this man out. And retiring and traveling and sightseeing and being with his babies. Andre the Giant, this man.
That's it. They won't let him go.
He needs to tell him no. He needs to say no. I'm done.
Don't mean to know. But you know what? It's the money.
It is the money.
The money, and it's
the
that.
Money, but
the money's too good. The money's too good, and.
Paralysis better than money? What? I don't get it.
Dude, think about it. He had a hip replacement and he still came back. So if he could come back after that shit, he's all about
He said the money is too good.
It's too good. It's too good. He can't let go of that. You know, and now you see Sting talking about it, saying, hey, he'll come back if the price is right. And you know, they got that money. That's all they need to hear. Oh, you just need a number. Oh, we got numbers. We got numbers. We could lace your pockets up. Coins.
the money was too good.
All this money coming from? Where?
It's coming from that damn deal. They're spending all that Fox money. That's it. And that's why it's like if the shit hits the fan, they're fucked. But hey, they're trying to make it work, and they're proving it by doing all these changes. Give them credit for it. I don't know if it's going to be enough or if it's too late. Their demographic is already aged out. People don't care. And they're trying to get the younger crowd, and the younger crowd don't care.
The younger crowd doesn't know who Undertaker really is like that, and I don't really think that they would care. Let me go watch a geriatric man with fake lightning effects come into the ring for 5 hours. 5 hours it still takes him to walk to the ring, and I don't even think that's an effect anymore. I literally think that's the actual speed he walks.
I think that they think that this is what people want. And people do want Undertaker, but they know that we're not getting the Undertaker of old who can fly over rope.
20 years ago when he to fight Sting.
You know.
And did you see that post? That horrible post?
I got banned from the.
Which post?
Post that they asked on Twitter, on their website, on basically all of their platforms, that was like, imagine.
Oh,
and they
yeah,
had a picture of Undertaker.
Yeah. So that
everybody, you know.
I would like to see that because I'm not expecting a major match. I'm just expecting gimmick for gimmick. So I'm all for that. That's okay because it doesn't really matter who. What bothers me is when they start putting him in these main event matches. He should be in just specialty matches. He shouldn't be a mainstay or one of the main guys in the front because he is older and you're pointing it out that he's old. We don't want to see him aging in front of us. We don't want that.
Yeah.
We don't want to see, like you said, like with Andre holding onto the ropes, gasping for air when he was just trying to walk around in the ring. We don't want to see that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, no. Vince wants to see it. Vince is the one that wants to see it.
Vince wants to relive his glory days. This is what we're sitting through. We're sitting like some dude. I'm not going to see. I'm letting him get banned. It's just, I'm it's like an Alzheimer's flashback. I can't.
Absolutely.
Sad.
Absolutely. So, any other thoughts on any of these other events?
Trash. The whole paper trash.
Evolve. We have Evolve coming. That's going to be fun. There's a lot of good matches. So I'm looking forward. Some wine.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to G1. I definitely will. I mean, say what?
I'm the only one who's excited for AEW.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure AEW is going to be great. It's definitely going to be a surprise or two. I'm sure.
The slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker. But if you ask Jim Ross, he is also not a fan of the preview show. So perhaps they need to skip the preview show and just go to the main show.
The preview show, I feel they all do it, though. WWE still does it. They used to do the kickoff. Remember the pre-kickoff pay-per-view show, Dial In, and they still do it.
Yeah.
Still do it. Now it's like an hour long. Before it was a half. Now it's full hour.
Yeah, too long.
It's too long. I don't know. I you know what it is? I think for me and for a lot of people, we've been watching. We're jaded. We've seen things recycled over and over, and I think our expectations are too high.
I agree.
That's the problem.
Well, I certainly can say my expectations are too high because when I saw the hardcore matches at the AEW event, I was like, this is still not as brutal as the stuff I have seen in the past. So I when I saw the fans reacting with all the stuff they were saying, I was like, okay, that's fine, but I mean, this is still not as brutal as the stuff I've seen in the past.
That was really lightweight. That was cute.
I mean, the craziest.
CZW, but this is cute.
That's the thing. It's like the craziest. The only two promotions I've ever seen that have pushed it to like, what the hell? Of course, and then CZW. CZW with all the light bulb, all the craziness that we were. It's not that I want to see those type of things, but they did those. They did some crazy. And if you're going to have people that are part of those type of the match in that world do regular match, it's a hard sell. The Darby Allin, it's a hard sell for me because there's expectation when you see these type of. And if you take those expectations out, then it sort of doesn't nation what could be possible because we know it. That's not it. That was how I felt with the Cody Darby. I knew it wasn't crazy, so it was just a lot of I'll hit you, I'll toss you out of the ring, back in, I'll hit you again, I'll toss you out of the ring, and we saw a lot of that. It was kind of boring.
Yeah.
So it didn't do anything. I mean, what is everybody talking about? It's not even a match. The damn chair shot. No one even saying it was like, wow, that was a great match. I want to see it again. The match became an after. And I think that'll be an issue that they'll going forward because they do, like they said, they have a mixed bag of some that can do right, some that have it. Okay. But when you start mixing them together to do regular matches, it just takes away the expectation. It's like saying if I were to start Sabu and technical match, that's not for it. I wouldn't want. Not what, that was the same thing that we saw with Mick Foley. That was the issue. Why they're like, you know what? You're always going to be the crazy bully cat, regardless if you love.
Yeah.
You will be that. Body paid for it, but he even knew it. Those expectations. This applies to everything in life and in the world. Look at the character plays Pee Wee Herman. Forgot his name, is drawing a blank, but you know what I'm talking about. This guy tried to do all kinds of the acting job, but he's always still seen as Pee Wee Herman, and that's where he. So he go back to play the character. So to add these wrestlers into the mix, and to see that they're throwing them in regular match, it doesn't. It feels because that's not. We know we're going to see that. We know it. Joey Janela, we know it. But they should be in their own section with those matches. Every match that they're in should be considered no holds barred. It doesn't have to be a bloodbath. It doesn't have to be any of those. But know that when that's stipulation for whenever anything, that's just how they. You know what I mean? So like a Sam. You knew he was going to use the kendo and qualify. That was his thing. He came down, stick, drink, get ready. You know, signing to them to be the name with hardcore guys sign because obviously they signed them for a reason, and they signed them for what they're known for. That's what they're known for. You put them in matches that's not for what they're known for. It's not entertaining.
Oh yeah.
That's just that's why I'm so excited. Oh, he's gonna put the MJF foot. Whatever. No one's taking the cheese grater out. Take staple ahead. Not that he should, but that are involved.
Oh yeah. You're right. We'll see. So, any final thoughts before we get ready to wrap up the show?
There's just a lot of wrestling. Watch whatever you. That's one thing we are like. We're all fortunate. We can pick and choose. We don't have to, if we bitch too much about something, fuck it, move on to something. That's it. We have that right. Fuck, it's not the only game in town. You don't like this style? Watch something else. Something else. Now everybody is on YouTube, on the internet, plenty of streaming sites. Everybody is a way to find. Back in the day, it was all through tapes. Word of mouth. You had to go. I remember going to Suncoast Video and some mom and pop shops to get DVDs, Deathmatch, Japan, and Noah, and Tournament. That was the only way I would. That. Now look what we have. This is it. We're blessed.
Absolutely. All right, well.
Yeah.
I think that concludes tonight's episode of Friday Night WrestleCast. For shout outs, Dana, do you have any shout outs or final words you would like to say?
Yeah, shout outs again to everybody who's listening and who listens to our rants. Last thing I want to say is I don't know what in the holy hell is going on with Tyrus to get his act together. Brodus Clay, formerly of the Funkadelics, remember him?
Oh yeah.
What happened to him?
He is currently fighting several cases of sexual assault.
Whoa!
As you guys know, he works at Fox News, or worked at Fox News for a very long time now. He's been working there. There have been sexual harassment allegations that has been brought against him.
But what was he doing? He's no longer wrestling.
No. He's been doing like a fun little. He would do sports and talk some politics. It's about what's going on currently. It's about politics and stuff. So they kind of kept him on as an analysis, and he had really great personality. He all the chemistry was working, and he was kind of like the light-hearted type of version that was going on. And the outside, it looked like everything was really going really well. Really, it has not. He was accused of sexual harassment by UnPC, McHenry, earlier this year. Basically, they're investigating it, but allegedly he has been sending out text messages to her that reads like, "Just pull your boobs out now. Why don't you just grin and bear it and keep being negative, and I'll send you another dick pic."
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, he's been sending texts like, also, I love the fact that you're always working. If we ever had sex, I feel like after you orgasm, you say, "Speaking of feeling good, did you see the story on the puppy rescue?" So he's just been sending out really lewd woman that is just nobody needs to see, and we don't need to see dick pics either.
Uh-oh.
So they were co-hosts together on the show, like I said, on PC. On Fox Nation, and they've been doing the investigation for several months now, and he's been off of air now. And he has basically, Fox News said that they are investigating everything that's going on, that they went through the whole HR process, and they don't have any comment until until they settle the matter. And this huge report about it, and basically that she has been saying that she's been receiving all of these harassments since November 2018 to January 2019. And that, she's spoken to higher up officials about it and basically still investigating it. And at the time, they really didn't do anything to Tyrus, the guest on Fox News, the Greg Gutfeld show, and he also appeared on Dana Pereiro's The Daily Briefing program. Wow, it just kept getting out more and more, and so they had to kind of suspend him until they figure out what's going on with him. So, an asshole. Nobody wants that.
Oh yeah, that's not good. None of that is good. Horrible news. Horrible news. Yeah, you got to get it together. How about you, Adam? Final shout outs, final words.
To everybody who listens, who follows wrestling, who enjoys wrestling, shout out to the internet and the world, and to Angels, to Butterfly. I love Butterfly. And that's it.
Sounds like Adam is high off that caffeine or something.
And shout out to all the characters in Street Fighter. I miss all the ones that aren't there and that were in some Third Strike, some of the other ones. Bring them back. Bring me those one. Yeah, Third Strike. Do you remember that? I was playing that today.
Oh yeah.
Still think that's one of the better ones. Got that parry system. That's one of my dream goals. I would like to become a professional fighter in the gaming community. Win some tournaments at Evo if possible. I have some practice buddies that I'm going to be sparring with for a while, and to see if I can get to that point. Who knows?
You're serious?
Yeah, maybe I can get there on that circuit.
Okay.
We will see about that.
We'll see. I got to get my rank up. I'm still doing unranked, but once I feel I'm ready, then maybe I'll live stream it as I work my way up and film a documentary called The Rise to the Top.
More?
Sounds good. So yes. Thank you all for listening. And we'll talk to you all next week.
Sure.